Reese's. Anyone have any good snacks yesterday? No?
Burrito.
Burrito?
Breakfast burrito.
Those are good.
Yeah. Really good.
My favorite thing is I really love the cream cheese filled churro. Or not churros, the pretzels. I wish they had a cream cheese filled churro. That would be amazing.
Disney, listen to me.
Welcome to the Animation Academy, everyone. My name is Danny. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to draw the original Angry Bird for this class. We are drawing Donald Duck, and we're going to dress him up for Halloween. Yeah. I love the enthusiasm. Donald is such a great character. Before we get started with Donald, we have a couple of things to go over. At the top of the stairs, there is my friend Sam. Everybody say hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Sam's going to hang out with us today. She's here to help you out. She's here to show you your exit doors. If you gotta go, you gotta go. It's the same way you came in. Those two doors there will push open if you get a phone call, lightning lane, you feel like you want to feed me because I keep talking about food and you want to just bring back that churro, sure. But she will be around in case your pencil breaks or it rolls under the seat. If you need anything like that replaced, just raise your hand nice and tall. Though those pencils, they do not come with one thing. There is no erasers. Does someone say sharpener? I mean, we got a couple here, but you don't need a really sharp pencil. I actually like working with a dull pencil. It makes for nicer lines, nice smooth lines. But no erasers. That means you have to draw very lightly. And those light lines, you are allowed to make mistakes with them. That's why we keep them light. Because we darken in only the things we want people to see about our sketches. So be messy with it. Be sketchy. This is the only place you can be sketchy. We're going to start off with a circle for his head shape, about the size of a baseball or an orange. And you want to place this right about the middle of your paper. Very nice and light. Just draw something round. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. It can look like an egg, because that's how ducks start, right? So it just look like a baby Donald if you just drew an egg. But if you find that you want to fix something about your sketch, you're like, I need to make one side rounder. Just draw right over what you have already. You need to make it smaller, just redraw it smaller. You need to make it bigger, redraw it bigger. But you just have to get to a point where it's like, I can move on from this, I can work with that, that's good enough. Once you get to that point, we're going to draw in a second line here. We're just going to draw this line right down the middle, just a vertical guideline. This is going to tell us that Donald's facing forward in our sketch. This is his center. We're going to add in what's called an eye line here too. This guideline tells us where his eyes sit in his face. And for Donald, it's about a third of the way down. So you want more circle on top than you do at the bottom here. He's got very large and expressive eyes. And for his costume, I'm going to add in two more guidelines. I'm just going to make this letter V. That is going to help us with his eyes a little bit later. This very devilish expression that he's going to have, because Donald Duck often listens to the little devil on his shoulder rather than the angel. Well, from here, we can start to make his duck bill. We're going to focus on the lower half of his face. Right where the bottom of my circle is, I'm going to stretch out this very flat rainbow. You want to make it about as wide as the widest part of your circle is. And that's going to be for the bend of his duck bill. At the edges there, right where we pulled it out towards the sides, the width of that circle, I'm going to add in a letter C. Then I'll add in a backwards letter C on the other side. This is going to make his bill a little bit thicker. It's not paper thin. And then on top of those letter C's, I'm going to attach what looks like a letter J right back towards his eye line. And a backwards letter J on the other side. So all together, it should look like you have this bent out wire coat hanger. Or that weird tool that IKEA gives you that no one knows how to use. But once you have something that you like here, you want to go back over the lines that you like, and you want to start to make them really nice and dark. You don't have to do this just yet. You can always wait till the very end to lock anything in. But that's what this is called. Locking in your lines or locking down your shapes is basically telling your audience this is the line you want them to look at. It's much darker than what we started with. And this is how we get around not having an eraser, because the dark lines basically do the erasing for us. It's like a Jedi mind trick, you know? It's like, these are not the lines you were looking for. But we're gonna give Donald Duck this very devilish smile. I like to think of Donald as a prankster. He really loves playing pranks, mostly on his nephews. And he's gonna have this smile here. I'm gonna draw two little rainbows at the very tops of those letter J's. And it's gonna show us that his smile is pushing up his cheeks. We also want to show that his duckbill has this little top edge, these little corners right here. They technically continue through the bill, but we want to just see a little bit of it here, right in the middle. That's like the highest point of it. And that gives us some depth to our drawing. Now I'm going to draw in his cheeks, going around those smile lines. And they are going to look like you have these like teacup handles. So draw a rainbow that goes right over top of that little rainbow that you sketched in before. And then pull it right into where the index of the duckbill is. This is what is attached to his lower duckbill. So we're going to give him what we call an open mouth or a laughing smile. In this case, an evil laugh. So we can actually take those two like teacup handle shapes and extend them down. So once you pull it into the indent of the duckbill, keep going down. Bless you. I hope you're not allergic to ducks. If I were to continue pulling these two lines towards that center, it would come to a point. But we don't want to give Donald all too many sharp points or angles to him, because usually we use those sharp points for what kind of characters?
Villains.
Villains. And Donald's not a villain. He just needs to go to anger management. So I'm going to round out the bottom part of his duckbill here. To open up his mouth to see that lower lip, I'm going to draw those exact same lines that I did on the outside here, from the smile lines this time, so we have a pretty even width to it. I'm going to draw it one more time, so that way you can see his lower lip in there. Now Donald does have some sharp points on him. He is not 100% the best behaved character there is. So he does have a sharp tongue. This is what gets him into trouble quite a bit, is this sharp little tongue of his. Sharp literally and figuratively. Because Donald just sounds like an angry kazoo. He just sounds like... Yeah. And it's often what gets him into trouble a lot, because people misunderstand Donald. They don't understand the words that are coming out of his mouth, and it comes with a lot of frustration on his end. There was actually a short that I watched where Donald was giving a speech. He was standing up at a podium, and no one could understand him, and all of a sudden these little subtitles started to pop up underneath him. And he noticed them, and it made him really, really angry. He went over to Walt Disney. He's like, I only know this because of the subtitles. It said, "What's the big idea?" And Walt himself was like, well, you know, like, people can't really understand you that well, Donald. And this is that kind of stuff that gets Donald into all kinds of crazy antics, right? And that is what we love about Donald Duck, too. Donald, his voice is so hard to do. There's only been 2 official voice actors for Donald currently. The original voice actor was a man named Clarence Nash. Walt Disney discovered him on a radio show where they used to have what was called radio plays, where they would read out a script over the radio and you just sit by it and listen to it. And he was making like animal noises, and he's like, I like this guy. Like, let's call him in. Let's have him do some animal noises for us. And he became the official voice of Donald Duck after that. He does the duck voice so well, they literally called him Ducky. Yeah, he was Ducky Nash. But we have the lower half of Donald's face, and we can already see that mischievousness starting to come through, especially with those guidelines for his eyebrows. Donald has such big, expressive eyes because it's so hard to understand his words. So you gotta see the emotions in the eyes to understand what's going on with him. And we're gonna see those eyebrows really pushing inwards here. So we're gonna go back to this letter V that we have, and right in the center, right where they meet, add in this letter C. This is right there in the middle. I'm gonna take the bottom of that letter C and curve it up with a letter U shape halfway up that diagonal line. So it's like you've got this hook or this letter J. When I get to that halfway point though, I'm going to start to turn it more into a rainbow. So it's like a stretched out letter S that you want to go towards that outside part of your circle. Now the left side, we won't see this middle portion here, but we will see that same curve to the rest of the eyebrows here. What's happening is we're seeing the muscles push inwards pretty far, and they're overlapping here in the center. But we also want to see that muscle tension right up here towards the outside too. So underneath that eyebrow muscle here, from the side of my circle, I'm just going to pull in this candy cane. So longer on top, short underneath. That's the part that connects to your circle there. That's going to round out those eyebrows for him. And usually it's actually quite hard to draw the full ovals of his eyes because they're so big. But because of the eyebrows pushing downwards, we don't have to worry about that. We only have to worry about the bottom portion of it. And I'm going to go just on the inside of the cheek up to where the eyebrows start. And that is going to be the outside part of the eye, just following the outside curve of my circle here. And then the bottom, all you gotta do is close it off with a stretched out letter U shape. And now he looks possessed. He looks like a witch cursed him to kick his own tail feathers. We're gonna wake him up by adding in his pupils. And you could draw anything in Donald's eyes. You wanna draw candy in his eyes because he's mad for candy? Maybe you want to draw some flames in his eyes. That'll be very, very appropriate here. I'm going to keep with the classic pupils, nice tall ovals. I drew the majority of the oval, I drew the whole thing, and I only locked in what's not being covered up by his eyebrows. That way you avoid a cross-eyed Donald. But if he's so mad that his eyes are crossing, that is definitely in his personality. And Donald's personality, the antics that this little duck would get in, actually made him at one point more popular than Mickey Mouse, believe it or not. Yeah. They wanted more Donald Duck cartoons than Mickey Mouse cartoons at one point, and Walt Disney was like, oh god, Mickey Mouse is my mascot, he's my main guy, why are you going after this like really angry duck? And he understood. He said, Mickey is who we would like to be like, but Donald Duck is a little bit closer to who we actually are. I added in some feathers that fluffing up on his cheeks when he smiles, even when he does his little mischievous, evil smile. And then we're going to close off the sides of his head with whatever's left of the circle. But we, of course, need some more feathers on top of his head there, too. And his feathers, if you want him to look really angry, like really maniacal, you can draw more feathers than what we have here. But I'm going to draw 3. Just 3 little feathers that stick right on up. Just like he's got 3 nephews, right? He's got Huey, Dewey, and Louie. He actually has a very big extended family. Of course, he has his uncle. Who's his uncle?
Scrooge.
Yeah, Uncle Scrooge. Does anyone know who Donald's girlfriend is?
Daisy.
Daisy also has 3 nieces. Her nieces are April, May, and June. And they're named that because that's when daisies are in full bloom. So it's very cute. Donald also has an uncle who's a goose. I don't know where that came from. But right now we just have an angry Donald. A very mischievous looking Donald. We want to dress him up for Halloween. And if you wanted to change his costume, you are more than welcome to here. But I'm going to give him his little devil costume that he often is seen in. I love seeing him on Buena Vista Street in that costume. He is in that quite a bit. You want to draw these little horns, like these sharp fin shapes that go right around the eyebrows. So that way it frames it up. And then you can draw him with a little pitchfork if you want to. I like to draw these, like this cape, like this high collar to his cape. Just drawing in 2 parentheses coming out from the sides there. And then making these bigger shark fin shapes that tuck in right behind his feathers. Well, that's everything that you need for your own sketch of Donald Fauntleroy Duck, the duck who gets stuck with all the bad luck. Anything else you want to add as extra credit? You can add in fire behind him. Maybe you want to draw the witch that he encounters with his nephews. Her name is Hazel. So her name is Witch Hazel. Yeah. The Disney animators really like their puns like that. I like to add in some shading to really bring out those horns and that cape too. Oh, and talking about Disney treats, this year they came out with a little Donald Duck cake pop where he is a little devil. I could not bring myself to eat it. It's too cute. It looks like a little Tsum Tsum. But that is everything you need. Find a good spot once you're all done, somewhere next to your sketch, and sign your name. Alright, finishing up our drawings. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Love it. On the count of 3, I want to see your sketches real fast, alright? 1, 2, 3. Let's see Donald. Ooh, spooky down here. I like it. Very nice job with the horns. You're looking great. Great expressions out there. Excellent job. So devilish. Devilishly handsome in some of these cases. Well, most of these cases. You guys did so good with these. Very nice job all around. You guys really nailed it. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You passed the Animation Academy. Great job. Now these drawings, these are yours to keep and take home with you as souvenirs, so go ahead and take them off your boards. I'm going to leave you all here with Sam. She's going to help you on out. If we don't get to see you again, have a great rest of your day, and class is dismissed.
If you'd like to recycle those drawings, there is a wire basket located at the top of the stairs on your right-hand side as you are exiting. Otherwise, those drawings are your souvenirs to keep. Take them home with you, cherish them forever and ever. Thanks again for joining us today, everyone. At this time, we gotta start making our way to the rows. So get ready for the next class.